Hi, friends. I've never done a live in stories before, so I'm trying to make sure that it's right. Technology is sometimes not my best friend, but I'm learning. Um, my husband and I decided to do this fun thing on Fridays where we are going to, hold on, I think he's trying to join. Um, Hold on. Do a quote and a question, and then we're going to both tell like how that quote or that question, like answer the question and how that quote makes us feel. Um, there you are. Hello,
I
honey.
made it. Hi.
I'm trying to explain what we're doing, but we got a little tongue tied.
Yeah. Well, it helps when it helps if we know what we're doing. So that might be
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Um, Anyways, we might be interrupted by a child because we chose Friday because my mom's usually here, but she's not here today. So there might be a child that interrupts us. So
It's actually probably pretty much guaranteed. We have like 37 kids.
37 kids. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to read you the quote and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So the quote that we both chose was, "A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor." So, honey, how does that quote make you feel?
Um, well, I love that quote. Um,
Yes.
I think it's been something. I mean, to me, obviously, that means the hard stuff makes you better, and that's been something we try and teach our kids. Um, whether it's like sports, um, where we're talking to our son, he's about to start soccer. The conversation about, do you want to play with the kids that are a year older than you and are going to be better than you and make you better and into a better soccer player, or do you want to play with the kids your age or maybe even a year younger than you where you can just dominate them and not actually get any better? And that kind of attitude that you need the hard times, not necessarily hard times, but you need the hard stuff to get better. That's the only way we get better. It makes me think of you. Actually, you walk around the house telling the kids you're always saying you are made to do hard things. And sometimes they hate that, and sometimes they like that. But um, it's, if I look back at the past couple of years, you and I, and us as a family, including the kids, we've been through some things that, I kind of never thought that I would make it through. Not to be dramatic, but a lot of stressful things. And if I look back at that, I'm kind of amazed at how much stronger I'm much stronger than I thought I was, and I'm much stronger because of those things. And it obviously, as you know, there's a Tom McDonald song that we both like where he uses this quote, and then he adds something on to the end, something like, "So I'm thankful for the stormy weather."
Hmm.
And I think it's a hard mindset to be thankful for like shitty things happening to you in the moment, but we wouldn't be where we are, you and I, if it wasn't for those hard things in the past couple of years. We wouldn't be able to be doing the things that we're doing now, like starting a business, homeschooling our kids, all the stuff that dealing with all the stuff that's going on in the world right now. On top of all that, the four kids being home with us while we're trying to start a business, it kind of makes, now that I say it out loud, I kind of think we're crazy. What are we even doing?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just, that's kind of ultimately where I go to. That I'm thankful for the stormy weather. Sometimes when life
I,
kicks you, it sucks. But
I have a question for you. Do you think that this quote kind of made me laugh? Do you think that society, in most ways, has taught us that life is supposed to be peachy and happy all the time, and to kind of not appreciate the tough times? That like there's something wrong with us if there's a whole lot of tough times.
yeah, well, I think you can put a lot of, I don't want to say blame. You can put a lot of the reason for that attitude, like the opposite of this attitude, which to be honest, like if I take a step back, I have not always thought that way. Um,
Hmm.
the poor me, like woe is me, all the bad stuff is happening to me. Like you know this story, but you know, for years as my entire childhood and early adulthood, it was, you know, I was not necessarily positive or optimistic, and I was kind of whiny and complaining, and I was always looking for reasons to be upset. And um, it's it's hard not to be like that for so many reasons. Yeah, part of it's society. I think part of it's human nature. You want to feel special, and so when something bad happens to you, it makes you want to feel like you're the only person going through pain, or like, or there's something different about your story. You know, I like if we're not going to go into details about some of the things that happened in the past couple of years to us, but it's like it's not that bad compared to some people. Other people
Yeah.
have it way worse than us.
Yeah.
But I think it's, I mean, you and I have talked about how easy it is to fall into this woe is me victim mindset where everything is about you. You make everything about you, at least, even when it's not.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think? You asked, that's a good question. You asked it, but I'll flip it around. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I do. So I want to go back to what you just said because there are people that do have it harder than us, but I also don't want to diminish or take away from somebody's pain. Because if somebody is in something right now and they are feeling something, I don't want to take away from that and say, well, you shouldn't feel that way because somebody has it worse than you because you're making them feel like shit. You're making them feel like what they're feeling right now is not valid and it's not
Yeah,
important. So I don't want to invalidate people's feelings and what they're going
for
through.
sure.
That being said, I do think that society has taught us. It's funny because society doesn't want people to be happy, but in the same aspect, they want you to believe that you should be happy.
Well, they
And
don't
if you're
want you
not
to be happy.
happy, no, finish what you were saying.
I was just going to, sorry to interrupt. They don't want you to be happy because then you won't spend all of your money on their products. And then, like, their products are supposed to make you happy instead of you making yourself happy. But go ahead. That's just me
Um,
interrupting.
so I think society doesn't want us to be happy, but in the same aspect, they teach us if we're not happy, then there's something wrong with us, and we should just be like happy and enjoy all the obstacles that are thrown at us every second of the day. But what I've come to learn over the years, and it keeps getting thrown at me through music and through other people, is the more things that the more you start to grow and the more you start to change, I feel like more obstacles get thrown in your path. And I don't know if it's more or you're just noticing them more. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you're just more
Yeah, for
present to
sure.
them happening. And it's really, really hard when hard lessons are being thrown at you to be like, okay, cool. What am I going to learn from this? How am I going to grow from this? Like that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing, we keep bringing up songs, but the more lessons rain down, the more blessings I see. I
Yep.
just keep repeating that in my head every single time something feels really hard. Or if, there's a situation with somebody in my life that it feels like a really hard situation, I'll ask the universe, I'll ask God, like, what am I supposed to be learning right now? And sometimes you don't always get that lesson right away. Like you have to ride it out a little bit longer before you actually learn what you're supposed to learn. It's not like you ask the question and then it's answered for you. Sometimes the lesson takes a little bit longer than you would like. And so I think it's just all part of the journey. And that's my answer
Yeah,
for
I
that.
agree. Well, I think you just said something about, I don't remember exactly how you phrased it, but like once you learn a lesson, it's almost like a bigger one comes along.
Mm-hmm.
Or more painful. Once you get through something painful, it's almost like something more painful comes along. I
Mm-hmm.
think that, you know, regardless of your spiritual or religious beliefs, I think that life is, if we're going to start speaking in like cliches and quotes, like life is a journey, right? Whether you believe that God has a big plan for you, or whether you believe the universe is helping you out, or you don't believe in any of that, like it's a learning process,
Hmm.
regardless of your beliefs. And so, yeah, I think each piece of stress that makes you stronger gets you ready for the next one.
Yeah.
And I know, like in our experience with what we've had going on, like I said, and kind of as we led into this, if we didn't have those painful experiences, we wouldn't be ready for the painful experiences now. And it's not always like horrible things happening to you. Sometimes like stress is pain, right?
Yeah.
So we're starting a business. There are things that we don't want, or things that I don't know, we're fearful about. Maybe things that we're not sure are going to go over well, like this. Like I
She's
don't.
she's calling me downstairs, mommy.
Yeah, I believe that one
So
of them. Um, so yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with. I think each lesson does prepare you for the next one, which can sometimes suck. I think it also, what you said before that is really important, like not invalidating people when they're suffering or having a hard time. And that's something that I've struggled with, that you've really helped me with, because I came into our relationship with this mindset, whether it's a guy thing, like a macho man thing, or whether it's my upbringing or my personality or all of the above, like kind of perfection. Like I can't be hurt. I can't be down. I can't let this get to me. I can't feel the pain. You always say you have to feel it to heal it. I can't feel the pain. I have to pretend like it doesn't exist.
yeah.
And like, yeah, sometimes pretending that a certain pain is not there can help, but a lot of times you do have to address it. And so I think that was important, something that you taught me, and was an important point. Like, it's okay if you're struggling. You're not supposed to just snap your fingers and magically say, well, Locke and Ashley had this quote that says the stormy seas are supposed to make me better, but it doesn't happen that easily. And I tried to say that in the beginning. When you're in the moment, you're not gonna be able, like, if you're flipping out, or if I'm flipping out over something, and you came up and you're like, honey, don't forget, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. I
This
would
is gonna piss you
probably
off.
like, I'd like throw a pen at you or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't help. Um,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah. Okay, so let me. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Because I have a question that I wanna hear your answer.
no, and we're running short on time because Riley is screaming my name at the bottom of the stairs. So
Yeah, she was just looking through the glass door at me, picking her nose, and I was trying to figure out how to switch the camera around so everybody could see that, but then she walked away. All right, so here's a question that came to mind that I want to ask you, because we were talking about health and this kind of idea that health is not as simple as a lot of people think it is.
hmm.
So here's the question. I want to hear your answer. I might add my 2 cents, or not, maybe not, if you keep talking. So the question is, what does health, and we'll put them in quotation marks, what does health mean to you?
Oh, this is a good one. I don't necessarily have like a definition of what health means to me. And I think for the longest time, I thought health was, from my own experience of health struggles. I was getting really frustrated because I was doing all of the things. I was eating really healthy. I was exercising 5 days a week. I was meditating. I was coaching with people. I was doing all of these right things that I was told to do, and I still wasn't feeling well. And so, what I've learned through, going to IIN and going to school was, you could have a perfect diet. You could be doing all of the right things and still have no joy in your life and not feel full or content. So, what health means to me is, being aligned with who I am, showing up the way that I be showing up. So, what that means to me is, being our relationship, you and I's relationship, being what I want it to be. Spending time with you, taking care of our marriage, our friendship, our passion, being spiritually aligned, having a relationship with my kids. And to me, that means like, so they truly feel heard, they feel listened to. And so I do think that eating healthy and exercising is very, very important. I don't think that brings joy to your life. I don't think that
It's not that
is,
simple.
it's not that simple. And, you know, a lot of the fitness world will make you feel like it's that simple. Like there's no spiritual component to health. There's no, it's the science. The
Yeah.
science doesn't lie. And it's like, well, there is science behind having other aspects of your life aligned, because you can have a lot of health issues that have actually nothing to do with your health. It's your body keeping you safe. It's a trauma response that you shoved so far down when you were a kid that you never healed. Like you got to feel it to heal it. Like if you constantly are ignoring things that wounds that you've shoved so far down and you're not healing them, you're not gonna be healthy. And there's a lot of people that think that health is just about health and it's that simple, but it's not. You can have a
Right.
lot of health stuff going on and it actually be nothing about health. It's about something that you never worked through or healed. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And that's exactly where I thought you would take it. I think, there's the stereotypical example of, the Wall Street guy who works, I don't know, 16, 18 hours a day, totally loaded, is constantly working out, seems to be in good shape, and just drops dead because of
yeah.
stress. But if I'm so if I'm gonna steal one of your coaching phrases. So what I'm hearing you say is your your health is not as simple as being just about your diet.
Mm-hmm.
That actually makes me think of something you and I talk about all the time, which is, your diet is not just what you eat; it's what you watch, it's what you read, it's who you're around, it's what you listen to, it's also what you eat. But there's a mental diet too. I know,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, different aspects of our lives, if they're not kind of all firing together, we feel it in all the other aspects. And like if you and I are butting heads, which we're known to sometimes, if I do
No.
something, so let's go with the normal example. I do something totally effed up, and or say something mean to you or something, and you're mad at me, and then I feel bad and I apologize, but you're still mad. That bleeds over into everything else we do.
Yeah.
So even if we weren't starting a business together, even if we didn't homeschool, that leads. It just opens the door into that kind of negativity or anger or whatever flowing over into every aspect of our life.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're doing this every week.
We're doing this every Friday. Still not quite sure on the time every Friday because, like I said in the beginning, my mom is usually here to watch the kids. And we are trying to come up with a name. I want it to be like a fun Friday thing. I don't know a name yet, so if anybody can think of a name that would sound cool, you can help out, please. We're starting this on Instagram every Friday, and coming in January 2022, Locke and I will have our own podcast. So
You just
that
you
is,
just throwing the date down at me as a as an ultimatum.
it will hold us
There's a
to it.
deadline.
There is a deadline, so I just put that out to the world. So yes, we're gonna have our own podcast, and so this is like a little sneak peek every Friday on Instagram on kind of what our podcast is going to be. Except we're going to do a quote and a question on this every Friday. That's not what our podcast is going to be, but it will be us going back and forth and eventually be interviewing other people on the podcast. So yeah,
All right. We all done?
we are all done. That was good.
See you guys.
Bye.